In this video, we are looking at direct proportion. In this example, we are told that y is directly proportional to the square of x. In other words, y is proportional to x squared, not x. So this will be a little different from what we saw in the previous video where we had y being proportional to x. So what does this even mean, y is directly proportional to x squared? Well, it means if we multiply x squared by a scale factor, then we must multiply y by the same scale factor. So to complete this table, let's first complete this row for x squared. 1 squared is 1, so that's what goes in there. 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, 5 squared is 25, 6 squared is 36, 10 squared is 100, 12 squared is 144, and 30 squared is 900. Now let's consider what goes in all of these boxes. Well, to go from 4 to 1, we're multiplying by a scale factor of a quarter, or in other words, we're dividing by 4. So because y is proportional to x squared, we must divide the 8 by 4 as well, and that gives us 2. To go from 1 to 9, we're multiplying by a scale factor of 9, so we need to multiply this 2 by a scale factor of 9, and that gives us 18. Similarly, to go from 1 to 16, we're multiplying by a scale factor of 16, so we need to multiply 2 by 16 to get this number here. 2 times 16 is 32. Pause the video and see if you can find the missing numbers here. You can think of 36 as multiplying 1 by a scale factor of 36. So multiplying 2 by that scale factor of 36, we get 72. The 100 here is simply multiplying this 1 by a scale factor of 100. So we need to multiply this 2 by a scale factor of 100. That gives us 200. And finally, this here would be 1,800. So we have completed the table. Now, let's write a formula for y in terms of x. Let's have a quick recap. In the last video, we saw that if y is directly proportional to x, then we could write a formula for y in terms of x in this form. We would write y equals k multiplied by x, where k is known as the constant of proportionality. We also saw that sometimes people replace the phrase is directly proportional to with this symbol here. So instead of writing y is directly proportional to x in full, we would simply have y is directly proportional to x written like this. Now, I'll just go back to the full text to be clear, but let's apply what we know to this question. In this question, y is not directly proportional to x, it is actually directly proportional to x squared. And that means we can say y equals k multiplied by x squared. If y is directly proportional to x squared, you can always write a formula linking x and y in this form. Now, we need to find out exactly what k is. To do this, we need to substitute in a value for x and a corresponding value for y and solve that equation. We can use any column we like from this table. I'm just going to pick this one here. So what does this tell us? It tells us that 18 equals k multiplied by x squared. Now x is 3 and x squared is 9, so it's k times 9. In other words, we could write this as 18 equals 9k. Solving that equation, we can divide each side by 9, and that tells us that k equals 2. So we knew the formula was of the form y equals kx squared. We've now worked out that k is 2. So the formula that we want is y equals 2x squared. Let's move on to question C. we need to find the value of y when x is 11. Well, we can simply substitute x equals 11 into this formula. So y would be 2 multiplied by 11 squared. So that's 2 multiplied by 121, which gives us 242. Moving on to question D. We need to find the value of x when y is 98. Well, let's substitute y equals 98 into this formula. I'm just going to do the working off to the side here. We know the formula was y equals 2x squared, and we want to find the value of x when y is 98. So substituting that 98 in, we get 98 equals 2x squared. Dividing both sides by 2, we get 49 equals x squared. And assuming we're only dealing with positive values of x here, we get x equals 7. All I've done is take the positive square root of both sides. So we have our solution, x equals 7. Question E asks us what happens to y when you double x? Well, when you multiply x by a scale factor of 2, you actually multiply x squared by a scale factor of 2 squared, which is 4. For example, when x goes from 1 to 2, x squared goes from 1 to 4. Now, y is directly proportional to x squared. That means whatever scale factor we have for x squared has to be the same scale factor for y. So doubling x actually means that y is multiplied by a scale factor of 4. We can see that with a different pair of columns if we want. Compare when x is 5 and when x is 10. That's a scale factor of 2. But this here is a scale factor of 2 squared, or 4. So what happens to y when you double x? Y is multiplied by a scale factor of 4. In part F, we're looking at what happens to y when you triple x. So when you multiply x by a scale factor of 3. Well, let's have a look at these two columns. When you multiply x by a scale factor of 3, you are multiplying x squared by a scale factor of 3 squared, which is 9. So x squared is being multiplied by a scale factor of 9, which means y is also going to be multiplied by a scale factor of 9. So what happens to y when you triple x? Y is multiplied by a scale factor of 3 squared, which is 9.